Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. How y'all doing today? I just want to come to you this afternoon with a quick story. I'm not sure if you heard about this. Today was the first day that I heard about it, and I was really surprised. I actually didn't think it was a true story until I went to the news, and it was very hard to actually find some large news media outlets covering the story. I'm not sure why they're not covering this story. I don't know if it's just so common in this area that they don't feel they have to, but this was my first time hearing about the story. It's about a truck driver that was at a rest stop. He was parked and he was going to basically go to sleep and rest. And while he was pulling over and kind of winding down, he saw a pickup truck, and the pickup truck pulled over, and he saw a man and a woman get out the pickup truck, open up the back, and he saw that there were children in cages, and the cages were padlocked, so they were not able to escape or get out. So he called 911. As everybody knows, that's what we should be doing if we see something like this. So I wanted to bring this story to you so you can hear his account and also just bring awareness about what's going on with trafficking. This also goes to the point of some of the stories that I've had, which are the missing person stories in Ohio, how so many kids are missing in the state of Ohio. And also the fact that in many cities throughout the country, you're hearing about a lot of people going missing, not being found. So I wanted to cover the story just for that awareness point of view. So it's a short one, but it's still very valuable to just go over this information in ways that we can try to keep ourselves and our children safe. So let's go. If you go to the Facebook Hidden Horror page, there's going to be two links for two different articles, okay? And then there will be a YouTube link for the video. This person that's the truck driver, he has a YouTube page where he talks about his experience and what happened. He actually was able to video some of what happened. So let's talk about it, okay? The article is on a page called thegatewaypundit.com. It's dated August 30th, 2023. Now, this did not happen in August. This actually happened about 2 months prior to this being released to the news. So there was a concerted effort not to release this information for about 2 months. That could also play into maybe protecting the identity of the truck driver who saw what happened, and also those children that were found in the cages. So, the title of the article is Kidnappers Caught in the Act. Heroic truck driver rescues approximately 15 children trapped in padlocked cages in the back of pickup truck. Okay, so let's get started. In a spine chilling incident, a vigilant truck driver who goes by the name Michael became a hero by alerting authorities about a deeply unsettling situation. Michael was parked in a rest area off I 10 in New Mexico when he witnessed a pickup truck pull up nearby. A man and woman proceeded to unlock a padlocked cage beneath a tarp in the back of the truck, from which they released several children. So that means that in the pickup, in the bed portion of the pickup, there was a tarp that covered the bed portion of the pickup. But when the tarp was pulled back, there were cages and there were children locked, padlocked in those cages. According to the video uploaded by the truck driver, The kidnappers were seen ushering the children into and out of a bathroom at the rest area before locking them back into the cage. So this means that the man and woman allowed the children to exit the cage so they could use the restroom. They took them to the restroom and returned them back to the pickup truck, and they placed them back into the cages, locking them in. I'm sitting at a rest area. This truck pulls up, opens up the back. It's like a cage looking thing. That guy and this lady have a whole bunch of kids in the back of that truck. And then they take the padlock off, raise the tarp, and all these kids come out the back and they're forcing them into the bathroom, Michael said. When they're coming back out, they were pushing the kids back in there, locked them back in there, and pulled the effing tarp down. The truck driver's instincts kicked in as he noticed the children were being pushed into the bathroom and then locked back into the padlock cages under a tarp in the back of the pickup truck. Recognizing that something was wrong, he decided to call 911. So again, in instances where you have this gut feeling, you think something is off, it is better to call 911 than not. Let law enforcement intervene. Let them have a stop and question, investigate what is going on. If he had let them continue on their path, this may not have been a point where there would have been law enforcement intervention because they covered the bed of the truck up with the tarp. Okay. He said, I called 911. I don't know what's going on. I'm not real big on calling the cops, but when it comes to kids and their safety, and with all this human trafficking and all this crap going on in the world, it's not cool. So I called the cops just to be on the safe side, Michael added. So Michael, he really did the right thing. He didn't intervene. He didn't try to stop the pickup truck. He didn't try to question the man and the woman. He called 911. He allowed law enforcement to be notified, and then they can catch up with them. Okay? That keeps him safe. The truck driver describes how the kidnappers started to take off when they saw him on the phone. So the alleged kidnappers, they're aware of what's going on. They're looking around. They're probably stopping when it's dark because anybody obviously would wonder, why are these kids in cages? Where did they get all these kids from, right? So they're going to try to go to areas like a rest stop at night where they can quickly usher those kids in and return them back to the cages where no one's going to stop them, ask them any questions, or intervene. And even hoping that there's not a lot of people at the rest stop, that if they see a trucker, maybe that trucker is resting or asleep or in the back, the bed of the truck. So they were watching, they were paying attention to see if anyone was watching what was going on. And they were paying attention to Michael, who at the time was on the phone with 911, notifying law enforcement what he was seeing transpire. The cops on the phone with me told me to follow them as close as you can, as much as you can until we get units out, he said. So this for law enforcement is a high level priority, a top priority call. This call needs to be accelerated to the top. We need law enforcement now. This is what needs to happen, immediate response, okay? Despite not being able to keep up with the fleeing vehicle due to his truck's limitations, he managed to provide valuable information that enable law enforcement to locate and stop the kidnappers. So basically, he's driving a semi truck. A semi truck cannot maintain that high speed as a vehicle, a pickup truck. So he's probably driving 70, maybe even 80 miles per hour, where they could be driving 90 miles per hour. And this is dangerous for those kids in the cages, right? You don't want them to have an accident. So he's going to have to back off a little bit in following the pickup truck because it's going to make it dangerous. But he still wants to continue to try to keep up enough so he sees the route that they're traveling and he can communicate that with 911 so they can be passing this information on to law enforcement that we're on I-10, that they're going whatever direction. This is the speed approximately they're traveling because they really want to catch up with this pickup truck to find out what is going on. They finally caught up to them because I couldn't keep up with them. My truck only goes 7. That might mean 70. They catch up to them. They pulled them over. Michael recounted. Child services were subsequently called to the scene. Michael stated in an interview with Mother Trucker that there were approximately 15 children trapped within the cage. So that's a lot of kids in the bed of a pickup truck. That's a lot of kids in cages. In the article, it said that you thought you saw like 3 or 4 kids, and then they didn't really give a number. But was it more than 10? Because they made it sound like it was a lot. It was about 15, I would say, Michael said. Earlier this month, the Truckload Carriers Association named truck driver Michael a highway angel for his heroic rescue of caged children. The Truckload Carriers Association has named truck driver Michael a TCA highway angel for discovering, turning in, and chasing human traffickers with multiple children in a cage in the back of a pickup truck. So I know for him as a semi truck driver, he's probably received training. He's probably been told to identify instances where something appears to be wrong, maybe a criminal act is happening, and to call law enforcement. He followed that training, and now he was acknowledged for his good deed. He was able to help them with identifying this pickup truck and saving those 15 children. Michael said the little girl that he saw were no older than 3 or 4 years old. When the 2 adults and little girls came back out of the bathroom, the driver of the pickup forced the kids back into the cage, locked it, and covered the cage in a tarp. Michael called the police and was able to walk around in the dark to read the truck's license plate. So he was really on top of it. He wanted to get as much information as law enforcement needed to help them track this truck down. So he was able to get the license plate, which is great. Somehow, the 2 adults in the pickup truck must have noticed him because they took off quickly in the truck. Michael followed them. Michael also pulled over and waited till the police were ready to speak with him to get his statement. Police told Michael that this kind of thing happens all the time. Several of the children had been reported missing, and that there were even more children in the cage. In the cage, there were hammocks with kids draped across the top, Michael said, and the entire bottom of the cage was filled with children. So again, law enforcement is saying this is happening all the time. They're seeing children trafficked in the state of New Mexico. And we wonder why we have all of these missing persons across the country. Police also told him for his own protection he should depart in case anyone affiliated with the human traffickers was watching. The father of 2 young children, including a little girl, Michael was emotionally distraught after the nightmarish discovery. So they told him to leave just in case the traffickers were watching. It's really scary, he said. Since the TCA Highway Angels program's inception in August of 1997, nearly 1,300 professional truck drivers have been recognized as highway angels for exemplary kindness, courtesy, and courage displayed while on the job. Thanks to the program's presenting sponsor, Epic View, and supporting sponsor, Driver Fact, TCA is able to showcase outstanding drivers like Michael. So, first off, let's just thank Michael for his heroic efforts, for his mindset to even see what was going on, paying attention, seeing that something is off, something is wrong, something is not right, calling 911, taking the step, putting himself in harm's way, following the pickup truck, because this is an operation. This is not a one person, two-person man criminal act. This is a group of people that are kidnapping children, taking them, transporting them from one place to another place. That's why, again, it's so important for those missing person reports to be accurate, have a picture, be shared from one state to another, because if children are being kidnapped in one state, it is highly likely that they're going to move those children to another state. It makes it more difficult to identify those children that are trafficked and taken from a different state. Now, what I'm finding is these children were fairly young, 3 and 4 years old. A lot of the missing person reports that I reviewed that were in the state of Ohio, those were teenagers, 15, 16, 13, 14. So the age difference is different. So why would you might want to take a smaller child, a younger child, versus a teenager or older child? The smaller child may not remember their name. They may not remember their family. They may be more easier to manipulate, right? Someone could kind of take a smaller child and raise that child as their own. So that is the unfortunate part with the human trafficking. When the child is younger, unfortunately, you can do a lot of things to them. They may be more less likely to try to escape. They may believe that their parent told them some type of lie that will keep them calm. Um, if they're around other kids their age, they may feel more comfortable. Um, just so many things they can play on the mindset of a younger child versus a teenager that has more life experience, that is a lot older, whose brain has formed more, who they know themselves, they know their name, they know their parents, their siblings, they know what state they live in, they know their address. It's easier, I believe, to manipulate a smaller child. So in this instance, unfortunately, they took a lot of younger children, and they said that several of those children did have missing persons reports, and they were able to match them to those missing person reports. So again, if something happens, make sure you file a missing person report. Make sure you give accurate information. Make sure you provide a picture for that missing person flyer, because it's possible that if that child goes missing in their home state, it's possible that they will be taken, they will be trafficked to a different state. And you really want it to be on a national database, not just in the state where the child's home state is, where they resided. Okay. So let's just be thankful. This is a win for law enforcement. This is a win for trying to bring some kids home that were missing. This is a good thing. I'm not sure why it was not released approximately 2 months ago, but this again is a cautionary tale for parents all across the country to try as hard as you can to keep up with your smaller, younger kids. Even older kids can be manipulated. They can be manipulated online. thinking that they're talking to someone that is their age, and that person can be an adult or extremely older, because you can have any kind of identity online. You can be whoever you want to be online. So there's a lot of child predators online. So you want to make sure that you're keeping up, of course, what your child is doing and what they're doing online, something that you may not see as much. So keeping them in your face, around you, talking to you, and again, just being actively involved as a parent. So I just wanted to share that case with you. I had not heard about any of what happened. And I think that was intentional for some part for them not to release it. I'm not sure why, maybe to just protect the children's identity, trying to get them placed back to their parents, or even the truck driver's identity that saw everything happen. So I'm sure those cases will be going to trial at some point for the people that they were able to figure out who were involved. And let's hope that they get prosecuted um, to the full extent of the law, because this is definitely abduction, and it could be some additional charges, right, for this human trafficking. So let's just have prayers and positive energy go to everybody involved, especially those small children, that they are eventually reunited back to their parents in their home state. Okay. So thank you for checking out this video. I hope you check out some of my other videos, and be smart, be safe, be savvy. Have a beautiful day, and hopefully I'll see you in a future video. Okay? Bye, friends. Take care. Be well. Bye.